If you've been training consistently and are not seeing any progress, you're probably making one of these 10 mistakes. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first one is that you're probably not training close enough to failure. So ideally, you want to be training somewhere around 1 to 2 reps from failure. So honestly, the easiest way to figure this out is literally to train to failure, know what it feels like. And I personally would suggest doing it for like a semi-extended period of time, at least maybe like 2, 3 months. Just train to failure for everything. Know what failure feels like so that you can kind of have a gauge of what 1 to 2 reps from failure actually looks and feels like. Because if you've never trained to failure, that's going to be a hard area to try and hit. But you need to be training to failure or close to it to be seeing progress in the gym. So if you're not doing that, make sure you fix that. The next one is prioritizing the amount of weight you're putting up over actually properly doing the lift. So I know a lot of people think, oh, the heavier I go, the better it's going to be. But that's not really true if you start doing the movements so wrong that you're just training other muscles. Like there's so many different examples of this, but like even looking at me sitting right here, right? If I started doing a curl, I could do a proper curl, single arm, like this, just use my bicep, or I could go like, and like now I'm using my back and other muscles. My shoulders probably engaged and like a bunch of different other things. So yes, you might be able to add an extra, let's say 20 pounds to your curl, but if you're not doing it right, you're probably less effectively training your target muscle, which like in the concept of curl would be your bicep. So the next one is constantly changing your workout program. So many people do this. They think that if somebody's not seeing massive results after like a month, to switch it up. Genuinely, I would say you need to stick with a program for like at least 3 months to even have an idea of if it's a good program or not. Now, obviously, there's certain programs you probably just look at and know they're not good. But if you're constantly changing your program, there's no way to know if it's good because you're changing before you see the results. It's like if a scientist started doing a bunch of experiments, but then halfway through them, stop them. Like you wouldn't ever have any results. So you wouldn't know if it's effective or not. So stick with something. If you want to look into it and like, that's what I would do is look into it, take some time, go back to some of my old videos and like figure out what's actually quality and then build from there and make some smaller changes. The next thing is ignoring sleep and recovery. Those are two of the most important things. In the gym is where you break down your muscle, but sleep and like making sure to prioritize your recovery is when you actually build the muscle and the muscle repairs itself and grows. So you can be doing everything in the gym, but if you're not getting proper sleep and recovery, you're going to see gains, but like not as much as you could. And in terms of recovery, that also means like taking rest days. Occasionally, maybe taking like 3 days off rather than just a rest day or doing a deload week. Like those are all important factors in actually seeing growth. A lot of times your body just needs a break. So just listen to your body, make sure you sleep and recover. The next thing is skipping warm-ups. And in my opinion, especially if you're dealing with any injuries, like truly, it is like such a common thing that every gymmer has like shoulder pain. I've basically gotten rid of my shoulder pain in the past, I'd say like 2 months. And it's all just from like adapting my warm-up and adding certain things to it. I have a video out of I'll pop the thumbnail up of exactly what I did to get rid of my shoulder pain. And the longer and longer I've done this routine, the better and better it's made me feel, where I don't really think about my shoulder pain anymore. It's not even really a thing. And if you're not warming up properly, there's also a good chance you get injured, which you can't make progress if you're injured. You can't lift at all then. So having a proper warm-up is just so valuable. The next thing is comparing your progress to people on social media. And this wasn't something I really realized until being multiple years into lifting, but it genuinely just takes time. And like it makes no sense to compare what took you 2 years, let's say you're 2 years into your journey, to compare your physique to someone who's 5, 10, 15, or 20 years into training. Like, yeah, you're not gonna look as good. If you're 2 years in and I'm 8 years in, I put in 4 times the amount of time you have. I should look better. I should look 4 times better, some might say. Like, you can't compare it. Now, if you find someone who's on the exact same journey timeline as you, You still probably shouldn't compare because you all have different genetics and like everything is inherently different. But at least there's like the same amount of time put in. It makes no sense. You would never do that in any other field. No one would get into the workforce and be 2 years in and compare themselves to someone who's 27 years in. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So why would you do it with your gym progress? The next one is ignoring nutrition. Nutrition is truly so important because it allows you to properly fuel your body for one, your performance in the gym, and two, for your body's repair to actually build that muscle. So in terms of like just quick basic nutrition, if you want to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. If you want to gain weight, you need to be in a calorie surplus, and you need to be eating a lot of protein. Very basic gym advice, but like at the bare minimum, you need to be doing that stuff or you're likely not going to see results. If you're not eating enough, nothing is really going to change. That's honestly one of the biggest things I've realized in my years of lifting is you can be training all you want, but if your nutrition isn't half on point, nothing's going to happen. So the next thing is copying all these workouts and exercises from like Instagram trainers or athletes. And it's not to say that these exercises are bad, but you have to understand the purpose of why they're doing them. For example, a lot of athletes will train with a chain or on like a Bosu ball or something because that allows for instability in the weight, which as an athlete, you're likely not going to be in that many stable environments. You're going to be running, jumping, pushing. So you're going to have to understand and be used to adapting to having uneven amounts of weight and like balancing that. Whereas if you're like a power lifter, you're in like the most stable environment. You're sitting in one position that you choose and pushing or squatting, whatever it is, from there. So you have to understand that like certain exercises are great for certain goals and not great for other goals. So understanding the difference of like why someone would be doing something is very important. A lot of people see all these athletes training and are like, what are they doing? But for what they're doing, it makes sense. And some of them also just honestly aren't good exercises. So also just because someone who's in good shape is doing it, that doesn't mean it's a good exercise. I could go take a video of me doing an awful exercise. Like it doesn't now make it good. So the next one is being inconsistent and not tracking your training. Inconsistency in general, you're just never going to see results, honestly, with anything in life if you're inconsistent with it. The biggest key to success is always being consistent. It's showing up regularly. So I would say whatever your plan says with the gym, stick to it. If every once in a while, what I would do is if you can't work out, let's say you have a Friday workout schedule, but you have something so you can't do it, switch it to a different day in the week. Like add a different day, do something, like find a way around it. Because the second you give yourself that little leeway to take one day, then it's going to start happening more and more, and then that's how you get inconsistent again. And the other thing is inconsistency inside of training, and that would be more like tracking your progress. There were points in my lifting where I didn't track my progress at all. Now I am personally tracking all my lifts again, and I really do think it allows you to push yourself a little harder, knowing exactly that you did. Let's say you're doing like a lat pull down, right? It's really valuable in my opinion to know you did 180 for 10 reps last time for 2 sets, so that the next time you go in, you can be like, oh, I already did 10 reps. Let's up the weight. Let's go to 200 now, or like let's try 11 reps, and like being able to like almost like visually see your progressive overloading, because that is something you need to be doing, is progressively overloading. And the last one for this video is doing too much volume and recovery and not resting properly. This was something I did very early on, or like looking back at it, I actually don't know how I was like functioning in society, because I was doing such an excessive amount in the gym. I was training 6 days a week for at least 2 hours in the gym, and I was typically doing 5 exercises for the bigger muscle. So that would have been chest, back, or like quads basically. And then I would do 4 exercises for my secondary muscle, which would be triceps, biceps, and shoulders, and then I would do, and I wasn't hamstrings because I was legs for leg day, but legs in general, so including both quads and hamstrings. But I also do 4 sets for all those exercises. So that means I was doing 20 sets of chest, 16 sets of triceps, 20 sets of back, 16 sets of biceps, 20 sets between quads and hamstrings, and 16 sets of shoulder. And I was doing all of that twice a week. Like, it was just such an excessive amount because realistically, you need somewhere between 8 to 25 working sets per muscle group per week. And I was doing that twice a week. Like, it was such an excessive amount. And there was a point where I just wasn't taking rest days either. It's really important to like listen to your body because doing that just created honestly like a lot of injuries for myself. And though at the time I did really enjoy it, it just was not like a sustainable, healthy, the most productive way to do things. So doing like a proper amount of volume is much more important. And like I kind of said earlier, resting. Take your rest days. So with that being said, those are the 10 most common gym mistakes that I see or I've done or things that I just feel people do that I also feel like have some value behind them because they're definitely things that like a lot of people do, but like correcting you on them, like it would be such a slight gain you could have. It's just not worth it. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you can take some of these tips that I was telling you and make the change, make some progress, start growing. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next Sunday at 5 p.m. Catch you there.